Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. I understand. Luo Feng said respectfully. The Star Tower and Force Armor are both items you cannot fully utilize yet. The Force Armor is a complete armor that cannot be separated. However, there are countless treasures within Star Tower, you can take some of them. I've made some special treasures according to what Star Tower produces. The being flipped his hand. A huge map floated in the air above the boat, engulfing the entire boat. The over 10 kilometers long boat became but a tiny dot against this map. A terrifying energy emanated from it. This map's energy was incredibly powerful, far exceeding the sealed stars. This map is a true treasure, which is able to meld the many sealed stars within. With the two combined, it becomes a very special treasure, star map. Although, it barely reaches the level of true treasure. The being looked at Luo Feng. Once you become its master, you will know of its wonders. The map shrank swiftly and landed before Luo Feng. Luo Feng received it, sending a thread of world energy inside. With his spirit imprint within, he formed a soul connection with it and information about the star map poured into his mind. So it's like that, what a terrifying star map. Luo Feng was shocked. The map itself was a treasure. The sealed stars were treasures too. The map was able to absorb the sealed stars, and according to the information he gathered, it could at most hold 100,000 sealed stars. Every sealed star was a treasure. Once 100,000 sealed stars were absorbed by the map, it would make the star map become a true treasure. The star map could be used to imprint Luo Feng's attack techniques and lore engravings. The moment it attacks, the stars within would connect with the laws, its power was limitless. I was lazy. The being laughed, his voice resounding throughout the space. Thus I made this map. The sealed stars however are from Star Tower. Thank you, teacher. Luo Feng was truly grateful. This star map can hold up to 100,000 sealed stars. Even though there are many sealed stars within Star Tower, they are all important pieces of Star Tower itself, and none can be spared. Only very few, about 10,000 of them are useless. Those you can take. The being said. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. After becoming the master of Star Tower, he came to know of many things. Actually, the majestic being exclaimed, his voice echoing throughout, the sealed stars, when I first made them, it didn't have the ability to seal. It was mostly for attacking, whether it's controlling countless stars to attack, or trap an enemy. However, when the change happened, the many stars acquired the ability to seal, that exceeded my expectations. Controlling the stars with the lore engravings on them, they can easily be sent to seal others. Before you can control the entire tower, controlling the stars to attack would be a big advantage for you. The being exclaimed. If you can completely control the Star Tower, with just one attack, you can make the tower like a dagger and pierce forward. This attack would be its strongest attack. Even with its weakest strength, it would still easily kill a knight. If you can unleash more of its strength, everyone in the universe would fear it. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask, Teacher, may I ask when I'll actually be able to trigger the entire tower? Ha ha. Can you see the energy whirlpools? The being asked. Yes, the 9 whirlpools are incredibly powerful, even knights would die if they fell in. Luo Feng said. The 9 whirlpools are there for the tower to regenerate its energy, absorbing energy from the universe itself. The being said. The tower is 9 light years tall, and it holds immense power. Even the absolute warriors of the universe have no way to power it. To hold such strength, the amount of energy it uses is terrifying too. It's constantly swallowing energy, hence it's able to easily destroy a knight. If you shrink its size, when will you be able to supply that much energy? The being asked. Luo Feng was stunned. That would take a huge amount of energy, the whirlpools alone could destroy knights. Relax, that's at its optimum form. You only need to unleash the minimum strength and the energy required would be much lesser. The being said. Even so, It far exceeds the requirements for the Force armor. As for the Star Tower, I have one request for you. Please say it. Luo Feng replied. Before you can fully trigger it, let it stay here. The being emphasized. Leave it here. Luo Feng instantly understood. The Star Tower has long drawn the attention of the absolute warriors of the universe. Even beings that can match my strength have longed for it. This is after all one of the strongest weapons in the universe. It's been noticed here in the outer region wars for a long time. The moment it vanishes, it would create a huge commotion. All you soldiers of the outer region wars in Star Tower, the soldiers of the 4 camps, the hundreds of thousands of emperors including you, no one will get away. The being said. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. Hundreds of thousands of emperors, no one could escape. Right? For such a treasure, it would attract the most terrifying of beings. With their power, who could escape? Even the universe masters of the universe, they wouldn't let Luo Feng and the others get away. With Luo Feng's status, getting the Shogwu wings, which had little help to the universe masters, was still okay. But for the Star Tower, even the strongest of warriors would go crazy for it. It definitely wasn't something he could possess now. The huge axe founder, the primal chaos city leader. They all constantly thought for humanity. Yet they too would take this away from Luo Feng, and give it to some strong universe master to use. It was even possible for the huge axe founder to use it for himself. Unless you have the strength to match up to them, without it, don't come and move it. The being emphasized. If you can truly trigger it, you'd almost have strength that could match up to them. Plus, with humanity behind you, by then you'd be one of humanity's upper echelons, and no one would dare take your treasure. Naturally you'd have the right to own the Star Tower. Luo Feng nodded. This was a double-edged sword. You have 3 treasures now. The being said. When I first saw you, your energy was completely camouflaged, like a normal undying. Anything able to do that is a true treasure. This must be something your teacher, the primal chaos city leader, gave you. For him to give it to you means it has little use for universe masters, but it's still enough for knights to envy. This is your first treasure. Luo Feng blinked his eyes. This was extremely accurate. The second one is the Tower Pearl. This is the pearl that fused with your soul. This pearl is the control center for the forbidden spaces within the tower, and sealing is the most important ability of the tower. The attacking and piercing are subsidiary, while the defensive abilities are secondary too. Sealing an absolute warrior is its main ability. The pearl itself is considered a treasure too. Fusing the pearl with your soul, you should know how to use it to protect your soul. Luo Feng nodded. During the process of fusing the pearl, it was incredibly painful. However, after its completion, he could feel that it was extraordinary. The third is the star map. Fusing it with the sealed stars will grow its power. It's already considered a low-level true treasure. Your strength currently is unable to use too many sealed stars. Even with the general soul, I estimate you'll probably only be able to use about 10 stars, and that's already not bad. 3 treasures. All the universe has yet to see these treasures. The being said. Since it's so, nobody can recognize it. As long as you don't use their power to their limits, no one would be able to guess your treasures. Luo Feng nodded. Shogwu wings were yet to be discovered. As for the star map, he would go fuse it with the sealed stars later. It was a completely new treasure. Tower Pearl, on the other hand, was the core of the Star Tower. No one had ever successfully fused with it before, hence no one knew about it. These 3 treasures all belong to the realm of true treasures, at the level where the universe masters wouldn't bother too much, but sufficient for knights to go crazy for. Don't get cocky. These 3 low treasures are not even a fraction of the Star Tower or the Force armor. The being said. I will work hard to be able to use the Force armor and Star Tower as soon as possible. Luo Feng said. The being nodded. Luo Feng and Put sat on the boat and listened to their teacher, beginning their way back to the shrine. The speed on the way back was very fast. They reached back in an instant. Teacher, I've only acquired 2 fragments of the 9-volume manual. May I know where the rest are? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The 9-volume manual can make your genes evolve to the level of a special life form in the universe. He looked down at Luo Feng, and if your genetics are too absurd, it would attract the attention of countless warriors. The stronger you get, only then would you be worthy of getting special treasures. The heavenly crystal fragments of the manual, there are a total of 5 pieces. You've already gotten 2 pieces. As for the other 3, they are placed in dangerous regions in the universe. At Sector Lord level, you can go get another piece. At Undying, you can go get the other. After becoming a knight, you can go get the last piece. The being looked at Luo Feng. The areas get more and more dangerous. When you become a knight and get the last piece, completing the set, I think you'll be very close to triggering the entire Star Tower. The coordinates for these 3 metal boards have some simple descriptions about the dangers. The being pointed at Luo Feng, and a beam of light flew at him straight into his mind. The information poured in and Luo Feng instantly understood. Disciple, don't die at these places. The being said. Yes. Luo Feng was very clear. Now that the job is done, I've prepared sufficiently for you. With 3 treasures, everything will depend on yourself. I will not help you at all in the future. The being said. I await the day you'll be able to trigger the entire Star Tower. After he said that, the space shook. The being had vanished, leaving behind Luo Feng and Put in the shrine. Senior, I'm ashamed to say I still don't know what teacher's name was. Luo Feng said, he didn't dare ask before. Ha ha. Put sat cross-legged and laughed. No one knows his true name, but because he often sits on a mountain peak, and is seen as such throughout the vast universe. The absolute warriors of the vast universe gave him a title, Mountain Sitting Guest. Your second senior's name is Cao Ben Chi, is known in the universe as Emperor Yang. The great being Mountain Sitting Guest, and the leader of the Yang Shan race Emperor Yang. Luo Feng remembered them. The Earth race has a leader now and the job is done. I'm much more relaxed now. Third junior, I'll take my leave. Put smiled and the space shook as he vanished. Within the shrine, Luo Feng stood alone, smiling. My teacher is one of the strongest in the universe, Mountain Sitting Guest. But he sure is lax about his disciples. From now till the time I trigger the Star Tower, he didn't even care at all. Luo Feng walked within the shrine. As he reached the edge, a pathway appeared. Standing before it, the endless sealed stars floated outside. Stars come. Luo Feng smiled. Immediately, the tower began to revolve within. From the endless years of consuming energy, part of the energy began to rush over from within the tower, quickly gathering before Luo Feng. Over 10,000 sealed stars revolved. All of them didn't seem to have the gold glow of origin laws. The other sealed stars cannot be taken. Hence, these 16,235 stars are currently useless. Luo Feng nodded. He triggered the stars via the Star Tower. They began to fly over to him and recognize him as their master one by one. Teacher had said that I'd at most be able to trigger 10 of them at the same time. Then I'll first take 100 and when I need more, I'll come back again. Luo Feng stood in space. In front of him, there were 100 sealed stars that looked like glass pearls were revolving. With a flip of his hand, star map appeared. The 100 pearls all landed within the map. Immediately star marks began to appear throughout the map, as they began to form a special connection. The star map was born. Sky-tearing claw. With a thought, he looked down at the star map and a complex lore engraving appeared on it. It was the complete lore engraving of his sky-tearing claw. 6 out of the 100 stars glowed with gold. Looks like sky-tearing claw can at most trigger 6 stars. Luo Feng nodded. The use of the star map was as such. By controlling a large amount of sealed stars, one can imprint techniques within them. One could also easily wipe it clean and place a different technique if and when needed. The level of the techniques would determine how many stars were needed. Rise! Luo Feng roared. 6 pearls rose gradually out of the star map. They were completely black in color and glowed with laws. After changing from within the star map, it was impossible to tell that these 6 little stars were the powerful sealed stars from before. Go. Luo Feng gazed into the space ahead. Hua. The 6 black stars immediately rushed forward, connecting with the universe laws. Countless gold threads interweaved, and in almost an instant, they formed a claw. Just for the limb and claw portion, it brought with it terrifying force as it slashed through the space ahead. Luo Feng was full of joy as he looked on, after which the 6 stars returned back into the star map. Ha ha, this star map is definitely a spirit reader's treasure. He was incredibly excited. The weapons a spirit reader requires were normally powerful techniques that were placed within incredibly expensive materials. Therefore, during battle, they could rely on triggering the law engravings, saving a large amount of effort to unleash maximum strength. The Nanshan armament had the 9 techniques imprinted within before combining the knife blades within. Hence, using the weapon to unleash the power of the techniques. The star map was different. It could switch the techniques within at any given time. With the sealed stars as its foundation, no matter how powerful the techniques were, even a universe master would probably just have to use a little more sealed stars to place his techniques within. And these are sealed stars. Every one of them is a true treasure, which is extremely powerful. Even if I don't use any powerful techniques, just the sealed stars alone attacking would be incredibly powerful. Even the stars, white dwarf star etc., they would be instantly smashed. This was after all a treasure even knights sought. Luo Feng smiled. Unlike the Showu wings, as it was too powerful, he was unable to unleash enough of its strength yet. The star map, though powerful by itself, the sealed stars within, were true treasures too. The moment Luo Feng uses the general soul, he would be able to trigger extremely powerful techniques. Star map. This star map will be able to take any technique I come up with. It will accommodate my path. From today on, this star map will be called the star diagram. Luo Feng really liked this star map. Hence, he could take liberty to completely name it what he wanted. Absorbing the general soul. Luo Feng flipped his hand and a drop of water floated and flew towards his forehead, gently fusing as it touched. As it connected with his main core, it was like water gushing into a dry river, swiftly being absorbed. The absorbed general soul was like an infant growing into a giant, giving endless strength. So powerful. With my current willpower and consciousness, I can completely trigger it. The soldier soul has 1,000 times the sector lord's soul strength, while the general soul has 10,000 times. He exclaimed. Teacher created the force armor and raw soul. Even though they both targeted different aspects, the requirements and strengths are pretty similar, as one is for the body, while the other is for the soul. Luo Feng's current spirit energy was incredibly powerful, having 10,000 times sector lord spirit energy with the general soul. This was akin to a low emperor, and with his control of his willpower and consciousness, he could unleash strength akin to a pinnacle emperor. Weng. A blur tower silhouette began to engulf the little beast god formed from his main core. This silhouette was formed from the tower pearl, it slowly got absorbed and vanished. My soul's foundation is set, and with my willpower, the power will be limitless. Just in terms of defense, with the help of Tower Pearl, who can deal with me? Luo Feng was incredibly confident. He spread his silver wings within the shrine. With the Showu wings on his back and the Tower Pearl within, also with the general armor and general soul, he even had the star map for offense. He was intrepid, as this was enough to make Emperor Limit's despair. Against such a terrifying being, who would dare offend him? In terms of foundation, it was deep. He had many treasures, even Seven Blade or Life Fall Emperor would all stare in shock. Only thing was their strength was very strong, combined with their treasures, they could still give Luo Feng a tough fight. 6,000 years of life or death inheritance. Over 5,000 years of studying the beast god path, assisting my space laws. He exclaimed, when he was at the 1,000 plus mark, he had already reached the 19th level of the beast god path, with 5,000 years now, he had already reached the 20th level, his improvement speed was incredibly fast. Passing the heavenly bridge's 20th level. Terrifying, Of course the main thing was that he had the beast god statue to forcefully copy and imitate, plus his willpower and consciousness kept getting stronger, allowing him to reach higher levels quickly. Just his beast god presence improvement alone was swift. However, his Nanshan 7 forms and space laws were slower. He had just finished the second form of the Nanshan 7 forms. Its power was only akin to the Heavenly Bridge's 18th level. With regards to the space laws, he had completely comprehended the 6th picture, akin to the 18th level too. It was obvious in terms of law comprehension, the beast god presence was much harder to make progress in, however as it was much more powerful, it gave him terrifying strength. And I got an extra surprise. I only completed the 6th picture of the space laws, and the 7th picture is the most important, yet I know nothing about it. The Mosha body, however, using the life crystal and its special connection with the universe, is now able to use teleportation. Teleportation. I am now able to do it myself. He was incredibly happy, even though I have Heavy Arrow as a slave. During critical times of battle, the enemy will naturally deal with us separately. Heavy Arrow will be unable to always stay by my side. If I need to flee, being able to teleport myself is the fastest. He had already imagined it. If his earth body was fighting, he could let the Mosha body become a piece of metal and appear within his muscles. The Mosha body could use teleportation and he could flee. The Mosha body and the earth body both shared the same main core. For the Mosha body to appear from within his internal world, this was something no one could stop. Unlike the world ring, which required world energy to guide. Appearing from within the internal world only required a thought. 6,000 years, his improvement was indeed a jump. His beast god presence had reached the 20th level, Nanshan 7 forms, the 2nd level, his Mosha body could teleport, his willpower was now at least thousands of times stronger than before, and his teacher had left him 2 treasures that would make countless knights go crazy for. Altogether, he had 3 treasures now, along with his special general soul and armor. Everything was within his grasp. Many methods within my grasp, even against 7 blade or life fall or Da long, I need not fear. He was incredibly confident, getting the inheritance from the sitting mountain guest being. He learnt that there were quite a few such powerful beings in the universe. Such warriors that didn't need to think about races or others. Their inheritance could truly make the 6 pinnacle races go green with envy. The primal chaos city leader had long thought, if he couldn't get them in, it was better to let someone of his race get their inheritance. That would be extremely beneficial to the race. Everything is settled. Time to visit my family. Luo Feng's gaze before was piercing and strong. The moment he thought of his family, they softened. During the life or death inheritance, he persevered all because he wanted to see his family again. The only thing was after he awoke, he needed to speak to the great being. Against him, he didn't dare send a thread of consciousness into the virtual universe to see his family. That was incredibly disrespectful. That was his first meeting. He didn't want to offend his teacher. If he was a teacher and he went to see his disciple for the first time, should his disciple be distracted and have part of his consciousness in the virtual universe, he would definitely not be happy. Hence he had to bear with it. Waiting until his teacher left before swiftly settling the star map, absorbing the general soul. Once everything was done, it was time to see his family. Virtual universe, within Luo Feng's villa in the primal region. Luo Feng just connected and realized he had a bunch of mail. So much. He was stunned, gently tapping in mid-air as the pages appeared and he read through. Primal Chaos City Leader Teacher had tried to contact him twice, Truyang 9 times, Bolan once, Rongjun twice, Gao Xing once. Luo Ping 18 times, Luo Hai 21 times, Luo Hua 3 times, Dad 3 times, Mom 83 times. As for Shushin, she had contacted him 38,192 times. A blur of messages, it completely stunned Luo Feng. Other than his teachers, friends and family, there were other friends from the Hong Alliance. Some had invited Blade River Emperor to explore regions with them, some wanting to sell some items to him, some asking for help. The Primal Chaos City Leader's mail was very simply, come see me as soon as possible. Tru Yang's mail said, if you survive, there's no rush. Deal with your family first then come see me. Bolin and his other good friends before had just become sector lords not long ago. As for his friend Gao Xing, who he met on Horned Star Dragon long time ago, he mailed him to tell him he had broken off from his family and had been exploring the universe for many years, finally striking it big. The mail was filled with glee, also awaiting Luo Feng's reply. However, this mail was sent over 2,000 years ago, and Luo Feng hadn't replied to any of his mails. As for his family, they were all filled with worry. Xu Xin. He looked at the blur of mails from her, shocked. These were all sent when he began his 6,000th year of life or death inheritance. There was almost one every day, sometimes two. Within a couple of hundred of years, there were over 30,000 mails from her. He swiftly scanned through them. Feng, the family's concealment plan is almost complete. I'm much more relaxed now, and just awaiting your return. The Luo family will get even stronger now. Feng, I'm currently in North Birch Star Field. There is a beautiful planet, the scenery is really nice, only a little cold. Feng, I encountered some trouble today. I didn't expect that after trusting her for so long, she'd dare go against me like that. I guess you never know what's going on in someone's heart. Seems right. I haven't seen that underling in a few hundred years. The many mails were just like a diary, recording her life, joy, troubles and so on, over the hundreds of years. The words were filled with worries, the pain that came from deep within, even when she spoke of happy things. It made Luo Feng feel that there was still worry behind. Trouble. The mails of back then sure were filled with trouble. Luo Feng felt the bitterness within. Back then when he accepted the life or death inheritance, when he detected danger, only then did he leave behind the mail for his family, set to be sent during the 6,000 years. When he finally succeeded, he didn't expect that the inheritance would have lasted over 6,000 years. It was absurd. They must be extremely worried from that mail. Luo Feng was able to guess their reaction. The Primal Chaos City leader and True Yang, I'll visit them later. He thought. They wouldn't care if I wait a while. I'll visit my family first. He immediately entered Black Dragon Mountain Island's 9-star bay. 9-star bay, other than the 3 core residences, which belonged to Luo Feng, Thunder God and Hong, every other living space was from the Luo family, and the renovation styles of the other buildings were all uniform. Luo Feng's ancient villa hadn't changed over the past 10,000 years. As it had a special meaning and position, normal family members couldn't even enter it. The grass before the villa currently had Luo Ping sitting in a stone chair, and the table had bottles of wine, with 10s of them already empty. He was sipping and drinking, non-stop, his forehead filled with worry. Luo Feng instantly appeared before the villa, his expression changed at the scene. Luo Ping, what's the matter? He had never seen his big son use wine to forget his troubles. Of the 2 kids, Luo Ping was the calm one and he managed a lot of the family affairs. He was already considered one of the family leaders. I said, everyone get out, leave us now. Luo Feng detected some people behind him and immediately roared as he waved his hand. Luo Ping. A voice resounded. The voice was calm, almost like the vast ocean, even so, it was filled with vast energies. A strong warrior speaking to a weaker person gave a different feeling. Luo Feng's powerful willpower and consciousness naturally affected others about. Luo Ping was completely stunned as he turned gradually. Behind him, the silhouette that stood there was a very normal human body, even slightly shorter than himself. However, this silhouette was the pillar of the entire Luo family. The pillar of the entire earth. Dad. Luo Ping stared wide-eyed, dropping the wine bottles as they fell on the grass and rolled, wine leaking out. Dad, Dad. He rushed over excitedly, hugging Luo Feng. Ha ha. Luo Feng laughed. What's the matter, why have you resorted to drinking? The stress is too much. He got up and wiped his tears. He felt the endless worries within instantly vanish. He had yet to undergo such stress before, however when Luo Feng returned, everything disappeared with the wind, they were no longer worries. Where's your mother? He asked, bring me to her. She's currently negotiating with the Gold Mist Universe country's Luo Sai family. Luo Ping said. Negotiating? Luo Feng frowned. Luo Ping said helplessly, Dad, since you sent that mail to the family, we were all afraid. I didn't say I had died, only I was in some trouble. Luo Feng couldn't help but reply. We know you were alive. Seeing Di Fan and the others alive naturally meant that you were alive. However, your mail said that you were in danger, and that we may not be able to see you for a short period of time at best and longer period of time at worst. Short period could potentially mean 10,000 years, and long period could potentially mean millions of years. In all, the family began to get worried, and only Grandpa and Grandma, along with Uncle, Mum and little brother knew about it. For the family, we began to swiftly reorganize the management. Enforcing stricter management, cutting down on bad members that brought us enemies. Luo Feng's family had been around for over 10,000 years. Hence the number of family members were shocking. Many normal disciples and members, without any privileges, lived like normal people. After all, with their current numbers, even over 10,000 life planets weren't enough for them to live on. It was obvious how fast humans reproduced. Actually, several superfamilies in the universe had enough people to take up an entire galaxy, or even hundreds of them. This was very normal. Our Luo family grew too fast. When you were here to control it, it was still okay. But because. Hence, we controlled the rules and began to leave many back doors for the family. The business had grown huge and long left the Ganwu Universe country. We didn't expect that a few decades ago, the Gold Mist Universe country's Luo Sai family, because of some elite disciples' problem that grew bigger and bigger, refused to make way. That family is a super family in the Gold Mist Universe country, and their family leader is Jian Ta Emperor. I also heard that his teacher is a knight. After the matter got worse, I heard that he sent a mail to you to settle it personally. However, your virtual universe has been shut for so long. Mum even said that there's been rumors around Yuseong Mountain that you've fallen. Luo Ping said. The underlings in your villa haven't seen you in over 6,000 years. To a sector lord that barely lived past 10,000 years, vanishing for 6,000 years at a go was unbelievable. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed, there were rumors that he had fallen. That Jian Ta Emperor may have noticed this and hence never stopped his family. Maybe he wanted to make use of the opportunity to force our family to submit to him, seeing if you'll show yourself. Luo Ping said. Humph. Luo Feng nodded coldly. Whether I'm alive or dead, just this news alone is priceless. Especially the other races in the universe, they'd want to find out the truth about the matter. That Jian Ta Emperor is only a disciple of a knight, yet he dares go so far. Let's go, bring me to your mum. 9-Star Bay, Luo family headquarters. Shushin personally brought the team of envoys from the Luo family. Mrs. Luo, our Luo Sai family respects Lord Luo Feng greatly. Hence we've been bearing all this while, however this doesn't mean that we can be easily bullied. This is our final line, as long as you can compensate us this much, everything will be settled. The negotiator from the Luo Sai family was a gold-armored giant with an elephant nose. Shushin sat there. Could she agree? Being bullied to that extent. If she bowed down, the rumors would get even crazier, and the other families would gradually all begin to suspect if Luo Feng had truly fallen. Once that begun, it would be even more troublesome. Mrs. Luo, the negotiations have already gone on for 7 days, and today is the last day. If there is no resolution, our Luo Sai family will have to. The doors swung open violently, everyone within was shocked. This was an important negotiation. Who would dare barge in like that? A silver-armored silhouette walked straight in. The formless pressure, just the pressure from his consciousness spread throughout. Immediately made everyone in the Luo Sai family go pale. Luo Sai family. Jian Ta Emperor. Tell him. The silver-armored youth looked coldly at the leader of the family. Anyone who dares bully my family, his guts must be huge. I really wonder, who gives him such guts? Has he been bribed by the other races? Tell him, without a proper answer, I don't mind, in killing him and wiping out the entire Luo Sai family. Everyone in the hall was shocked. The head of our Luo Sai family. The giant with the elephant nose was stuttering and about to speak. Hello, Emperor. HMPH. Luo Feng snorted coldly. Remember, I want a proper answer. If it's not good enough, you know what will happen. The Luo Sai family side were all shocked into silence. Get out. Luo Feng ordered. They all bowed respectfully, leaving the room haggardly before vanishing. They didn't dare vanish before Luo Feng, their pride had all been completely smashed. Within the hall, everyone in the Luo family had looks of glee. Shushin stood there, her body shaking excitedly as she looked at him. It's been hard on you. Luo Feng turned to his wife and gently held her hand. The others all left obediently. Only Luo Feng and her were left. You are back, that's good. She looked at him, tears welling up. Everything is good. I promise you that no one will bully our family, no one. Luo Feng gently rubbed her face. Recalling the over 30,000 males, he felt sorry within, he owed too much to her. As long as you come back, that's enough. She said softly, give me a hug. Luo Feng nodded. They hugged for a while as she lay in his chest. Although there was silence, she was feeling his warmth, his heartbeat, and his energy. After a while, even though they didn't even say a word, hugging his wife in his arms, he could feel her warmth, their souls connected and they could feel each other's thoughts. Luo Feng could feel the way she missed and loved him. Shushin could feel his guilt and pain. Gradually, the two of them enjoyed the silence between them and each other's warmth. After a while, Feng, don't make us worry, understand? She looked up at him, saying softly, I know you are exploring the universe, and a lot of things are out of your control. The path of a warrior is extremely dangerous, but try your best not to enter dangerous regions. I understand. Luo Feng nodded, gently stroking her hair. What do you think of Jian Ta, Emperor of the Luo Sai family? Luo Sai family. Shushin frowned. After the matter got blown up, the Luo Sai family was initially courteous to us. I heard that when he couldn't contact you, that was when they began to lose that courtesy and even tried to step above us. Since you became the disciple of the primal chaos city leader, our family's strength flourished. We began to do business with almost everybody. It was good enough that we didn't bully anyone. Who would dare bully us? She said. Luo Feng nodded. Doing business with the disciple of the city leader, all the undying families, official and emperors, many of them would be willing to lower their head rather than offend the Luo family. This was simply the way of life, like how Luo Feng treated the city leader with utmost respect. Back when he was weak and small, the first time he met Yang Zhu Emperor, he felt weak and small against him. The theory was the same. At different levels of strength and position, the power one had was different. Even though Yuxiong Mountain has been filled with rumors of your death, Jian Ta Emperor has been wondering if you really fell. When he couldn't contact you, his demeanor changed. But this doesn't justify him trying to bully our family. Shushin said, which family would dare do that? Even the royal family of the Gan, Wu Universe country would treat us as equals. Your way of thinking makes sense. Luo Feng nodded. Jian Ta had secretly allowed his family to do so. Even though it was cautious enough, from the negotiations it was clear they wanted to step over the Luo family. This was a slap in the face. As long as Luo Feng hadn't fallen, he needed to show himself. He's forcing me to show myself. It may very likely be so, to see if I'm still alive. Luo Feng said. Feng, your current position is different. There are many warriors from other races watching and waiting to kill you. This whole incident feels like there are some other races involved. You have to be careful. She said. Without enough benefits, who'd dare do such a thing? Luo Feng nodded. Relax, within human territory, they aren't worth worrying about. Shushin nodded, even though she was worried within. The primal chaos city leader is looking for me. I rushed home as soon as I could. But I have to go see him now. I'll be back later. He smiled. Prepare for a reunion dinner later. She nodded happily. Within the highest peaks of Thunder Island, a palace was engulfed in primal chaos energy. The city leader lived within. Luo Feng appeared at the entrance, stepping in and walking along the deep pathways, where he couldn't even visibly see the ends of the hallways. After a while, he stopped. Teacher, he said respectfully. A gold-robed silhouette walked out from the energies. That powerful energy made him hold his breath, however his perspectives were higher now. Having seen the sitting mountain guest, he could feel that this teacher of his was stronger than Put, but obviously weaker than the great being. You've returned. The city leader's gaze was vast like space. He smiled, it's good you are back alive. Looks like you've suffered quite a bit over the past 6,000 years. I did go through quite a bit. Luo Feng answered, remembering the days of the life or death inheritance, sighing within. The city leader's eyes gleamed, carefully observing him. This made Luo Feng stunned. What was he looking for? This was the virtual universe, the bodies were all simulated. The most he could do was examine his consciousness, and this could be easily felt. After all, how powerful was the city leader? Your consciousness has grown even stronger than before. He said shocked, and you've gotten recognition from the space laws. Luo Feng was stunned before he realized. The recognition from the space laws was something he had gotten during the over 6,000 years of inheritance. When the Mosha body could use teleportation, he connected with the universe laws, and that was when he got recognized. All three bodies now had the mark on their forehead. When he connected to the virtual universe, the system scanned him and his forehead was naturally recorded. And it's a high recognition, you should be able to teleport. The city leader said shocked. The law recognitions had different levels too. Like the gold law, it could form a gold blade or even a gold mountain. Different imprints represented a different side of the recognition. And Luo Feng's forehead had many dotted stars appearing and disappearing. This was the highest of the three recognitions, one that only appeared with teleportation. How's your law comprehension? The city leader asked. About the heavenly bridge's 20th level. Luo Feng replied respectfully. In terms of strength, his law comprehension could indeed pass the 20th level. The main thing was that he relied on the beast god presence. And his true strength, the Nanshan 7 forms and space laws, those were far from his beast god presence. 20th level. The city glanced at him. Your improvement is huge, and is even comparable to the top genius of humanity Kudi and Shahua before. It's mostly due to luck. Luo Feng said. Luck and encounters are a part of strength as well. The city leader smiled. You disappeared for over 6,000 years. There have been many rumors about you falling. Did it create any trouble for your family? Some little trouble. Luo Feng replied, I can handle it. The position in humanity is important, but strength is more important. Even though you are my disciple, if your improvement has been slow all this while and not representative of your status, others will look down on you. The city leader said. Over these 6,000 years, you haven't shown your strength at all. When you find the time, go attempt the sector Lord Sky Mountain. If you succeed, your name and reputation will spread. Those little punks wouldn't dare mess with you anymore. Anyone who does, we can only suspect, whether they are linked to other races and are traitors of humanity. Attempting Sky Mountain. His teacher naturally referred to the primal region Sky Mountain, for which one required law comprehension of the 20th level to pass. In history, anyone able to pass this were all absolute pinnacle geniuses. Only after passing this sector Lord Primal Region Sky Mountain, would one truly be on the same level as Kdi and Shahua Knight and the others. Yes. Luo Feng replied. Knowing when to hold back is important, and so is knowing when to display your strength. The city leader said. Like your Blade River Emperor identity, you have to keep it separate from your Luo Feng identity. You even made an emperor limit your slave. If the other races know about this, they will spend huge amounts to kill you. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. The news of Blade River having heavy arrow, as his slave had long spread far and wide. Hence, The primal chaos city leader naturally knew about it as well. I've already specially created a Blade River identity, from his youth to emperor level, with detailed information, without a loophole. The city leader said. And when you pass the sector Lord Sky Mountain, I will arrange for the Hong Alliance to welcome you in. Then, you'll join as Luo Feng too. You'll have 2 slots. Thank you, teacher. Luo Feng said gratefully. If you don't mind me asking, how can you use the Yangshan armor, and how can you kill those emperors so easily? The city leader looked at him. He had asked very gently. These beings had lived a long time, and they were clear that the geniuses tend to hide their special inheritance and treasures and not reveal them. Everybody was selfish. And because of that, they were able to strengthen themselves, working hard to protect their loved ones and their race. These beings were clear that they couldn't force such questions, or the geniuses would turn their backs on them. The more of a genius one was, the more they were proud. I was naturally able to use the armor. Luo Feng replied. Naturally. The city leader instantly understood, Yangshan race, Earth race. As to killing the emperors, I relied on the armor, Showu wings and the Fei Mo poison. He replied respectfully. When I first stepped into the outer region wars, I used the soldier armor. Later on, as my strength grew, I began to barely use the general armor. He said respectfully. Actually, the city leader could see clearly through the army system that he began with a black armor and later switched to a silver armor. That was after he had acquired the second black metal board on Yangji continent. As for being able to trigger the strength of the general armor, it's because, on Yangji continent, I successfully absorbed 10 blood river crystals and became a black warrior. Luo Feng said respectfully. Secrets and trump cards were meant to be hidden, but there were some that he could reveal. He wouldn't be able to hide it for too long anyway. Black warrior. The city leader's eyes gleamed with some shock, after which he turned happily to Luo Feng. The Black Warrior was a legend even on Blood River continent, much less within humanity. Luo Feng didn't fully comprehend the importance of being a Black Warrior, however. Just who was he speaking to? The city leader was very clear what the Black Warrior represented. Good, good, good. He said 3 words. His attitude towards Luo Feng had risen obviously. The stronger he got, the more the city leader naturally favored him. Everything he did and acted was from the perspective of the entire race. The city leader was as such. This video will end here.